President, Sir Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan, Chancellor Sir Dr. Atul Chauhan, Vice Chancellor Ma'am Professor Dr. Balwinder Shukla, Additional Vice Chancellor Sir Professor Dr. Sanjeev Bansal, all our esteemed dignitaries, panelists, faculties, and students that are gathered here. As we come to the close of this enriching journey, let us remind ourselves of the greatest vision ahead, which is Viksit Bharat 2047. A vision rooted in inclusivity, innovation, and sustainability. Together, we are not just imagining the future, we are building it. Over these 2 days, we have witnessed a confluence of powerful ideas, academic rigor, policy insights, and a shared vision, Viksit Bharat. Each session has deepened our understanding of how sustainability and inclusive growth are not just pathways, but the very pillar of our nation's future. We are now gathered here for the valedictory session of the conference, and it is my pleasure to guide you through this segment.
We begin this afternoon by welcoming Dr. Professor Kavita Indapurkar, Head of the Institute, ASC, Amity University, Uttar Pradesh, Noida campus. Professor Kavita Indapurkar, over 27 years of teaching experience in higher education institutes across India. Dr. Kavita Indapurkar has several key academic leadership positions. She holds PhD in economics and MBA finance, and her research lies at. I request all the students to please take their seats. Please quickly take your seats here. Harsh, Urishma, come this side. Shreya, Anvesha, please come this side quickly. Thank you. A very good evening to one and all present here. Respected Honorable Founder President Sir, Honorable Chancellor Sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor Ma'am, esteemed Additional Pro Vice Chancellor Sir, distinguished guests on and off the dais, my dear faculty members, staff members, and my very dear students. A very warm and heartfelt welcome to each one of you at the valedictory ceremony of the 8th National Conference at Amity School of Economics, which is on the theme Viksit Bharat at 2047, Harnessing Sustainability and Inclusive Growth. Sir, with your kind blessings, we could successfully hold all the technical sessions where researchers from across the country presented their papers. Details will be presented by the conference convener, Dr. Neeru Sedana, in a while. We extend our sincere gratitude and welcome to Honorable Chancellor, Dr. Atul Chauhan, sir. Sir, under your able leadership, ASC stands strong as an institution which is deeply rooted in sanskars, knowledge, and innovation. My heartfelt gratitude reaches out to you, our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Ma'am, Professor Dr. Balwinder Shukla, whose support, encouragement, and guidance have been instrumental in shaping our academic events. I take this opportunity to welcome all the dignitaries and participants and express sincere appreciation for taking out time from your busy schedule to grace the occasion. I extend a very warm welcome to our guest speaker of today, Dr. Saloni Bhutani, who is Economic Officer in Ministry of Finance, for taking out time to grace the occasion. I thank you from the bottom of my heart, ma'am, for making it possible to come here and grace the occasion. I extend a very warm welcome to our chief guest for today, Mr. Vikas Chaudhary, who is Vice President, Federation of Publishers and Booksellers Association in India. Sir, your gracious presence and words of wisdom shall enlighten us all. Welcome, sir. I take this opportunity to welcome our guest of honor, Mr. Virat Bhatia, who is Managing Director at Apple. Sir, we look forward to hearing from you. We welcome you, sir. I extend a very warm welcome to the guest speaker of this session, Professor Dr. Shobna Poddar, He is adjunct faculty at the University of Edinburgh, Zambia, Africa. Thank you, ma'am, for making it possible from so far away, and in spite of time difference, you are here online with us to grace the occasion. I once again welcome all of you to this very important session of the two-day national conference. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the lovely welcome. Now, I would like to request Professor Dr. Kavita Indapurkar and convener Dr. Neeru Sadana to please extend a warm welcome to our chief guest, Mr. Vikas Chaudhary, with a sapling.
To welcome our guest speaker, Dr. Saloni Bhutani, I request Dr. Pooja Mehra to present our SAP. I request Namita ma'am to be here.
To welcome our guest of honor, Mr. Virat Bhatia, I request Dr. Dharmender Singh to please present a sapling.
I highly welcome our guest speaker, Professor Dr. Shobna Poddar, to our valedictory session. I hope you are here with us, ma'am.
Thank you so much for joining us today, ma'am. Now, let us begin with the session. Introducing our guest speaker, Dr. Saloni Bhutani. Dr. Saloni Bhutani works in the Economics Division of the Department of Economic Affairs, Ministry of Finance, where she contributes to the social sector part of the economic survey. She has completed her PhD, MPhil, and MA in the economics from University of Hyderabad and bachelor's in economics from Hansraj College, Delhi University. She has presented several research papers in national and international conferences and published several newspapers and magazine articles, research papers, and a book in the area of urban economics, transport economics, health, education, and agriculture. She holds strong work experience in ground level policy implementation and has worked in multiple capacities with organizations such as Niti Aayog, Administrative Staff College of India, and University of Hyderabad in the past. Ma'am, I invite you to please share your word of wisdom.
Honorable dignitaries, esteemed guests, and my fellow panel members. Thank you so much for having me over here. So I really like the theme of this conference because we at Ministry of Finance, as well as during my stint at Niti Aayog, we were working towards the strategy towards building a Viksit Bharat, and this is an area which is very close to my heart because I've had experience to work on ground and suggest policy measures towards building a Viksit Bharat. So we all know that our Honorable Finance Minister in our budget from the past 2-3 years, she has been mentioning the word Viksit Bharat and laying out the 4 pillars of Viksit Bharat, which are the Yuva, Garib, Mahila, and Kisan. And she has been taking multiple measures towards enhancement of welfare of these 4 categories. Multiple schemes have been laid out towards ensuring the betterment of farmers, which are marginalized and belong to vulnerable communities because a major bulk of our farmers are smallhold farmers and prone to a lot of exploitation in getting a fairer remuneration towards their crop, and also the female category, which is prone to exploitation and vulnerabilities from various measures, and ensuring the empowerment of these females is a very strong agenda of our Honorable Finance Minister as well as the Honorable Prime Minister. So we know that our economy is at a stage where we have a very strong favorable point in its favor, and that is of demographic dividend. We have to ensure that we leave the demographic dividend advantage to the best of our ability, and also the AI and the technology deep tech revolution, which we have been talking about from past couple of years. These two measures, as well as the cultural heritage, which is a major strength of ours, and our Honorable Prime Minister in his Man Ki Baat address and various addresses wherever he goes, whether it is his Independence Day speech or the Republic Day speech, he has been talking about leveraging our cultural heritage, which is a strength and is key to ensuring that we have an inclusive growth. When we talk about cultural heritage, we can't forget to talk about millets, which are the last year was our International Year of Millet, where India was the leader and proposer of the International Year of Millet, and the whole world, especially India being the leader, was celebrating and taking measures to mainstream millets and bring it back to our daily plates, and working towards the betterment of all its stakeholders, whether it was the farmers, the industry, the startups, and and etc. So when we talk about sustainability, it is the foundation of a resilient India, and we cannot ignore the sustainability part when we are talking about achieving economic growth. So when we talk about sustainability, we have to focus on three key aspects. The first one being the renewable energy revolution, where various measures are being taken towards clean energy solutions and reducing our dependence on fossil fuels and achieving carbon neutrality. We know that the most difficult part of the G20 presidency, which was held very recently, was to achieve a consensus on the green hydrogen pact, and there have been talks about net zero by 2070 missions, and we have been moving towards EV, and even our vehicles have been going electronic. So various measures are being taken towards ensuring a renewable energy revolution in our country. The second part is that of smart cities and sustainable infrastructure, where we have to ensure that we have inclusionary housing, where we reserve a certain percentage of our housing as affordable housing towards the weaker section, which is the economically weaker section and the lower income group, and also ensuring transit oriented development and green spaces around us, which would ultimately lead to enhancement in quality of life of our citizens. The third part is that of climate resilience and adaptation. We know that the PLI scheme, the production linked incentive scheme, has been aiming towards boosting the manufacturing sector, because there have been talks about India missing the manufacturing bus and directly jumping onto the service sector led growth. And production linked incentive scheme has been around the corner, and it has been taking multiple measures to boost our manufacturing sectors. Here, net zero by 2070 mission ensures that the manufacturing is carbon neutral, and whatever waste also are generated by the semiconductor chips and boosting of the manufacturing sector, those all are carbon neutral, and and also recyclable, and lead to very less emissions of carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide. So here measures, also we need to ensure water conservation and strengthen our disaster management frameworks. Here measures like micro irrigation, natural farming, and missions such as life mission, circular economy, and green hydrogen pact are key missions that government has implemented and is continuously taking measures towards it. So when we talk about inclusive growth, the name suggests it all, that we're talking about the betterment of the weaker and the marginalized sections, whether it is females or it is the Garib of our nation. And we need to ensure education and skill development, strengthening of our extension systems, and ensuring that we have digital literacy and and a population which is being vocationally trained, and there is skill development and no shame when it comes, just like the developed just like other countries like Dubai, etc., where everybody with a skill has a job. And for that, vocational training is very important and crucial for preparing our workforce. The second part is that of women and youth empowerment. We have been encouraging, the government has been encouraging entrepreneurship in trying to bridge the gender gap, ensuring, trying to work towards ensuring better remuneration and closing down the gap between male and female pay, and ensuring equality in workplaces, and providing financial literacy to create a more equitable society. So over here, it is also important to talk about strengthening the rural economies and government initiatives such as the Digital India, Startup India, Jal Jeevan Mission, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, and Ujjwala Yojana, the PM Jan Dhan Yojana of providing financial literacy and financial inclusion, and the Mudra loans are key initiatives being taken by the government to strengthen our rural economy. Over here, it is also important to mention the significance of healthcare for all, where it is important to strengthen our primary healthcare, expanding digital healthcare services, and investing in medical research to improve the health outcomes across the nation. It is also important to highlight the significance of technology and innovation, where the emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence, blockchain, quantum computing, and biotechnology are critical for driving innovation across the sectors, and also ensuring transparency and efficiency. So it is also important to stress here that it is not just the responsibility of government to ensure a developed nation by 2047, but also it is a collective effort of various stakeholders such as the industry, businesses, academia, civil society, and here the environmental, social, and governance laws, the public-private partnerships are critical for ensuring innovation and sustainability. It is also important that every citizen realizes its responsibility towards ensuring Viksit Bharat. Over here, as we look towards the 2047, we must act with urgency, wisdom, and a sense of purpose, and pledge India to make India a prosperous yet sustainable, advanced, inclusive, and resilient economy. Together, let us make the Viksit Bharat at 2047 a reality, a nation that stands as a beacon of hope, innovation, and progress for the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your valuable insights. And now, I warmly welcome Mr. Vikas Chaudhary. Mr. Vikas Chaudhary, Vice President of the Federation of Publishers and Booksellers Association in India and a distinguished partner at New Light Publishers, is a renowned and academic orator. With his profound insights into the publishing industry, he has led several notable seminars, including career in publishing, and master classes on book marketing, where he captivated audience with his expertise and vision. His remarkable contribution to the world of publishing has earned his numerous recognitions, including the prestigious Distinguished Young Publishers Award and the Distinguished Publishing House recognition, both conferred by the Federation of Education Publishers in India. His unwavering commitments fostering literacy excellence and promoting equality educational resources has positioned him as a key influencer in the industry. A firm believer in the power of books to transform society, Mr. Chaudhary has been instrumental in bridging the gap between traditional publishing and modern digital advancements. His leadership, innovation approach, and dedication to uplift the publishing ecosystem continues to inspire professionals and aspiring publishers alike, making him a revered figure in the literary world. Now, I invite Mr. Vikas Chaudhary to share his thought with us.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you. Good evening to all, honorable guests, esteemed scholars, and my young friends. I take this liberty calling young friend because I'm 50 years old now, so I can call you young friends. Saloni ma'am, I pronounced it rightly, has very rightly pointed out whatever the government is doing for a Viksit Bharat. And I'm sure government will put more effort into it. But what as a youth we are doing, we have to keep that in mind. We are into the college. Maybe another 2 years down the line, we'll be pursuing management, or maybe we'll joining some corporate houses. What role we have to play? That has to start today, and that starts from research. Where is your research taking you? Where is your research taking this country? Where is your research benefiting the people at large? That is a moot point for any developed nation. What are we researching? Are we researching only the subjects we are into, or we are expanding length and breadth into other fields? Because whatever you do today, it will benefit tomorrow. So we have to keep that in mind. I'm sure you all are aware of research because ma'am must be asking you to prepare research papers, research documents. But how do you really get an idea of doing it? How many of you have ever asked yourself, when was the last time you did something for the first time? Have you asked yourself? I don't think so. That's the beginning of research. If you ask yourself, when was it that I did something new? When you start something new, you start researching, and you start research and you move ahead. As soon as you move ahead, you bring a document. You bring a document in front of people who are already into the field. They scrutinize your document. Those documents are made public through us, through publishers. And then it is available for general reading. People read it to grasp knowledge. Even the faculty members, they enhance their already enriched mindset by going through that. And all government policies, ma'am mentioned about Amitabh Kanji, Niti Aayog, Atal think tank was something a brainchild of Amitabh Kant only. He started that in the schools. What is think tank? That is again a mindset. What a child is thinking in his mind. How to bring that out? There has to be no fear. One thing you should always remember: knowledge is of no use if it is not shared. Knowledge spreads when you share with other, and that is knowledge. If you keep that knowledge to yourself, if ma'am comes every day, doesn't give you a lecture, keeps her knowledge intact with her, she will not spread the message across. She comes here, she teaches you, she spreads a message. She wants that message to be taken forward by you people. So I mean, you have to keep that in mind. Research involves various aspects. You have to be evidence providing research. You have to be scholastic in your research. You have to be professional. Mindset into it. And of course, there are a lot of research papers available in the market through publishers now. I mean, there are various other platforms. You find print platforms, you find electronic platforms, you find your own websites where these papers are there. You consult them. Why do you consult those papers? To enrich yourself. Once you enrich yourself, you want to give a detailed analysis. And as soon as you do detailed analysis of you, that becomes your research. That becomes a new platform. Today, you may be in early 20s. We are talking about 2047 Viksit Bharat. Think about when you are in your early 40s and this country is Viksit Bharat. So people here at the age of 20 will be reading your stuff, will be thinking about what the class of 24 or 25 has done for us. So we have to keep that in mind. We have a very important role to play. Government is doing their job perfectly fine. What are we doing? We talk about Viksit Bharat. Research is very important. Viksit Bharat, you have to be Viksit mind first. Very, very important. How good we are socially, how interactive we are socially, how humble we are towards other, how well nourished we are, how Swachh is very important. I mean, ma'am will correct me if I'm wrong. If there is no Swachh Bharat, then there cannot be a Viksit Bharat. So Swachh Bharat is a very, very important platform to be a Viksit Bharat. And Viksit Bharat takes everybody along. It's not a word for us. A country of 1.4 billion, it's not a word. It's like, I mean, it's our emotion. We have been slaves for ages. 1947 was our independence. 100 years we are taking to be developed. So we have given us a very long rope. But today, 22 years is not a big time. I mean, you have to start it today. Keep that in mind. This 22 years will fly like an. Once you move out of the college, your life will jump like anything. Mark my words. You will not understand where the age is going. You won't be able to recognize ma'am also 10 years down the line. Ma'am, oh, yeah, you were there. I mean, it flies like any. So you have to do it today. You have to start it today. And the hard work, you cannot move out of it. Research requires hard work. I was asked to speak on research. Why? Because research helps us in COVID vaccination. Research helps us in various other government projects. Government doesn't take a decision like this. They follow research papers only. They then discuss, then they sit on it, they work on it, and all government. Our country has a very phenomenal thing done. Ma'am might have missed, or maybe I have not heard. One thing which is called is UPI. This country taught world what is UPI. Even the president of New Zealand day before yesterday was like, he was thinking what is UPI, and he brought his telephone out and did a payment, and he was shocked to see how this country is doing UPI. So we are teaching European countries, we are teaching Far East countries. This is our brainchild, UP. Again, it came from some research only. It is not that government thought one day in the night that the COVID period will come and how people will do their transactions. We have to look something different. No, this was in the pipeline. COVID just boosted that. It was already there. People wanted to come into this sort of technology, this sort of working. So, I mean, we have to be very particular in research. In your college days, that's the best time to do, is that you work on the topics provided to you and the subjects you are into. I will again stress that as far as the Viksit Bharat is concerned, first you have to be a Viksit mind. Unless your mind is Viksit, no country will be Viksit. And this has to be our aspiration. No country leader can enforce. It has to come from inside. We have to feel that our country has to become. Why we should talk about Western world? We are no less. We are no less in any field. Take any. Pick up education. You have such a beautiful infrastructure in Amity. What sort of infrastructure world is providing is being provided to you here. So we are not lacking in any aspect. I mean, we have to keep that in mind, that the hard work in research is the first step towards a Viksit Bharat. Viksit Bharat and research, you cannot dissect them. I mean, it has to be together only. Always remember that our academics will go on, take us places, but our research will open our mind to many more fields. Ma'am will give you all economics details and everything, but that will take you to your subjects only. Your research will wider that scope. It will take you to various places. So keep that in mind. That's very important. You have to be very particular in research. I know you people sitting at 4:30, 4:45 must be very enthralled listening at this time. Also during my college days, if it was 3 o'clock, people used to run out only. Why we should sit? Yeah, let ma'am handle that. I mean, that used to be concept during my days. But so nice to see you all. and wish you all the best. And I'm sure you people will do laurels to this country. This country needs your approval. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for such an insightful address. I now have the pleasure of inviting the guest of honor, Mr. Virat Bhatia, Managing Director of Apple India. Virat Bhatia is responsible for supporting Apple's investments, strategy, and policy initiatives across all of its businesses in India. These include manufacturing, export, retail services, online content, and digital payments. Virat's career in ICT sector spans over 25 years across various functions in multiple MNCs. Before Apple, he served as a chairman of AT&T in India and later as AT&T's regional president for South Asia. Prior to this, he worked for Coca-Cola and Hyatt Hotels. In 2023, as part of India's G20 presidency, Virat co-chaired the Business 20 Task Force on Global Value Chains. He serves on CII's National Council and chairs the CII National Task Force on GVCs. He also serves on FICCI's National Executive Committee and leads its National Committee on Mobile Manufacturing. Since 2020, he has served on the India Executive Leadership Board of US India Strategic Partnership Forum, an alumnus of Delhi University and John F. Kennedy School of Government, Harvard University. He has also completed advanced management programs at Kellogg School of Management and the Wharton School. I take absolute and honor in inviting sir to please share your words.
Ashok Chauhan, founder, Dr. Atul Chauhan, Honorable Chancellor, Dr. Barun Sukla, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sanjeev Bansal, convener of the session, Dr. Sadanam, conference convener, Dr. Indra Purkar, head of the Institute, MIT School of Economics, my fellow panelists, conference organizers. I want to recognize Tanya Tripathi, Vice President, and Deveshi Ghosh, and the entire team of this national conference for celebrating the idea. So please give yourself a large round of applause for starting. I wanted to start by recognizing everybody who's thought of this idea for a simple reason that the idea of Viksit Bharat, which the Honorable Prime Minister has laid in front of us, is actually a revolutionary one that for us seems like something that is a dream currently, but several countries have planned their ways and done this across the world. So there are established models on how countries have got there. And of all the resources that are needed to become Viksit Bharat, and there are some numbers that I'll try and share with you on what Viksit Bharat means. Multiple resources will have to be used to get to that point. My fellow panelists spoke about it. Do you want to take a guess as what is the most important resource that India has to get to that point of Viksit Bharat? Any guesses? Loudly. But not just population, actually human resource, right? That is our single largest resource. So if you look at Viksit Bharat from your point of view, the age group I'm assuming in this room is between 18 and 22. So you have about 20 years to take India to this point of Viksit Bharat. You will be in your early to mid 40s when we get to 100 years of independence. And you will have another 25 to 30 years to lead India beyond that into a developed nation. So अगर देखा जाए तो सबसे important role to get us to Viksit Bharat after this generation stops planning is going to be with you who has to execute this. Now, importance of your careers, your life, your job, how you want to plan this has to be seen in the context of this national goal. So what does Viksit Bharat mean? It has many different definitions. It has a GDP definition. I can sort of read some of those to you. Our population will go from 140 crores to 165 crores. The median age will go from 29 to 37 years. Life expectancy will go from 71 to 84. The working age population will be up from 96 crores to 112 crores. Literacy rate will be up from 77% currently to nearly 100%. Skilled labor will be up from 34% to nearly 100%. GDP will be up from 3.6 trillion, hold your breath, to 30 trillion. That's nearly 10 times. So in 22 years, we will add 9 Indias to India. Think about that. What India has done in 77 years, in the next 2 decades, you will add 9 times that much of GDP to this country. That is the scale of where this country will go under your leadership, as you will be driving that entire nation and that economy. The per capita income currently is about $2,500 in India. Just by comparison, China is about $12,500. United States is about $80,000. We will reach $18,500 when we reach 2047. So, whichever way you look at this, this is going to be a massive change for India as a nation, as a society, as the people, in terms of what all we need to achieve and where we need to go. The industry's contribution to the economy currently is at about 28%. It will go up to about 34%. And most importantly, the female labor force, which is vast majority of this room, which is currently only 34%, will be upwards of 70%. In my sort of humble opinion, that will be the single largest achievement of the nation when you double the workforce. Because think about this, currently out of every 3 women, 2 are not working. And that is a major drawback for a nation that needs to become Viksit Bharat, because half your population, 3/4 of the half the population is not working. And so it falls upon us, falls upon you to get out to the workforce in whichever profession you choose to actually get this country onto the Viksit Bharat route. I just wanted to give you a perspective of where we stand in terms of GDP. United States has 4% of the world population. The world population is approximately 8 billion. I'm not sure how many of you know that total world population is about 8 billion. Do you know what's the world GDP? Anybody knows what's the world GDP? Total GDP of the world. It's about 110 trillion. India has about 3.6 trillion out of that. So US has 4% of the world population and 25% of the GDP. EU has 5.5% of the population and 18% of the world GDP. China has 17% of the world population and 17% of the GDP. So every one person in China has exactly what the GDP of the world requires for themselves. We have 17% of the population, roughly equal to what China has, but only 3.3% of the GDP. Which makes it clear that our GDP has to come from other countries. So whichever profession you take, please think about the fact that India will need to get its GDP from other countries. So as you choose your professions, as you choose your work life, please look at professions and work lives that will allow you and allow this country to be truly global. China used to have 10 Fortune 500 companies. It has 1 24 Fortune 500 companies. India currently has about 8. 5 of them are government, 3 of them are in the private sector. And all the other objectives that was laid out by my fellow panelists, whether it is sustainable development, whether it is health, education objectives, all of that will require us to build the GDP. Each one of them will either contribute to the GDP or require us to work towards it. And that is the role that you have. So, जिस तरह से भी आप इसको देखें, your contribution, we can talk about this, we can write about this, we can give you numbers, we can give you figures, but some of us will be there for 10 years, some of them will be 15 years in the workspace. You have a 40-year work life left. And right in the middle of that work life, India will transition to become a developed country. वो मेरे फेलो पैनलिस्ट बोल गए कि आप अगर टीचर को नहीं पहचानेंगे वो जरूर पहचान लीजिएगा, वो बहुत जरूरी है. विकास कह गए हैं कि टीचर्स को पहचानना बहुत जरूरी होता है because the foundation that they will lay will be very important for the rest of your life, so kindly do that. But I think my request to you as you choose your careers, as you choose the work life that you want to do, is remember, India will become truly global. So pick careers, pick areas of work where you can be truly global in your approach. 3.3% GDP 100 में से लेकर आप developed nation नहीं हो सकते. You have to have what you deserve. You can't have 17% of the population and only 3% of the GDP. So ये सारी responsibility हम आपके ऊपर डाले जा रहे हैं. But I think it's a great time to be a youth. It's also a difficult time to be a youth because आपसे बहुत ज़्यादा expectation है, जितनी हमसे थी, हमसे बहुत ज़्यादा आपके ऊपर है. But I think ये ज़रूरी है कि इन expectations को उस तरह से लिया जाए that what you will do with this nation will actually change this country forever. We've all played our role in whichever way we will sort of, do the right work on the sustainability side, on the empowerment side, on the education side. But I think this generation, which is now coming out of the colleges, like I said, has 40 years of transforming this nation. So we can talk about this any number of aspects, but I just wanted to make sure that you knew your very, very important role. And nobody else can do that because the single important resource that this nation has is you. Everything else comes second: laptop, tablets, supercomputers, cars, roads, ports, infrastructure, airport. जितनी भी हम बातें कर रहे हैं वो सब सेकंड. सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट रिसोर्स आपका दिमाग है, आपकी मेहनत है, आपकी विजन है. और ये सब चेंज होगा बाय द वे. जो हम आपको बता के जाएंगे आप उससे बहुत बेहतर करेंगे. आप इसको इंप्रूव करेंगे, आप उसको चेंज करेंगे, आप उसको उस तरह से करेंगे जो उस टाइम पे कंपेटिटिव हो. So I just wanted to leave you with this thought that we can give you a lot of concepts, but I think the onus and the responsibility and the ability to write the future of this nation is actually with you. Now, as you sit here, it might seem like it's impossible, but you will see, as my colleague said, years will pass very quickly. So please do give it very considerate thought as you pick your professions and your next courses on how that will help advance India's policy objectives, India's objectives of becoming a Viksit Bharat. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your engaging and forward-looking perspectives. I feel delighted to welcome Professor Dr. Shobna Podar, Adjunct Professor at the University of Edinburgh, Zimbabwe, Africa. Dr. Shobna Podar is an accomplished academic and institutional leader with over 23 years of experience in the top Indian and international universities. She is Certified Innovation Ambassador by the Ministry of Education, Government of India, and Vice President of the University Innovation Council. Her achievements include authoring 4 books publishing over 25 research papers in reputed journals including Scopus and UGC, and ensuring a patent on a paper financial cross-selling model. She has delivered more than 350 national and international webinars and has been a keynote speaker, evaluator, and panelist at major conferences such as World Education Summit. Dr. Porter has received recognition from Reliance Industries and National Career Services for her valuable contribution to training and uh, pla- she serves as an advisor to international universities, has organized major academic and corporate events, and on the editorial board on the International Journal of Technical Research. With a proven impact on research, innovation, and institutional development, I invite Dr. Porter to please share her thoughts.
Thank you, Madam. First of all, warm good evening to all the dignitaries, my fellow panelists, entire team of conference, my dear scholars, and my special thanks to Honorable Chancellor Dr. Atul Chauhan ji and Honorable Founder President Sir Dr. Ashok Chauhan ji, as well as my special thanks to the conference convener Dr. Neeru Sidana and Dr. Kavita Indrapurkar, HOI, the head of School of Economics, for inviting me on this 8th national conference under the theme of Viksit Bharat at the rate 2047, harnessing the power of sustainability and inclusive growth. Viksit Bharat at the rate 2047 is a vision for a prosperous, inclusive, and sustainable India, aiming to achieve comprehensive development by 2047. As we know that sustainability initiative recognizes the importance of balancing economic growth with environmental conservation, promoting green technologies, renewable energy resources, and eco-friendly practices. Viksit Bharat also aims to create an inclusive society where all the citizens, including youth especially, can contribute to nation development. And empowering youth, this aim of empowerment of youth to contribute holistically to country's development. Some of the examples and the initiatives are, for example, Mera Yuva Bharat, uniting youth for Viksit Bharat, and national youth festivals, etc. In that way, we will be in the capacity of working with young people so that youngsters can realize their potential through self discovery, skill development, trainings, and connecting them to wider opportunities. I'm giving you an example of this particular country where I'm residing right now in Africa. The capital of Zambia is Lusaka, where we are also working with YMCA, Young Men's Christian Association, and we have seen a lot of efforts the youngsters are making for their country. They are using the positive peer pressure to help other young peoples also, indulging in risky behavior to move away from subjects to becoming the functional citizens of society, like our India. We understood this through role modeling, training, or mentoring, project management, and good skills as well. If we move back to India, I can say that the key initiatives, as rightly said by my fellow panelist member, that some of the initiatives they discussed about the Viksit Bharat, like Jal Jeevan Mission, Swachh Bharat Mission, Startup Mission, and many more. They increased maternity benefits under PMMY, Pradhan Mantri Yojana schemes for the women empowerment. So, example is education reforms are replacing the old NEP. This is one of the example that replacing the old national education policy of 1986 with modern approach platforms and impact of various IT platforms on various sectors as well. In that way, the vision of Government of India to make India a developed nation by 2047, for example, the 100th year of independence, it will become the successful nation. On that note, thanks to everybody and best wishes to my youngsters and look forward for a developed nation. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Your words have added great value to today's session and inspired us all. I request Professor Dr. Kavita Indapurkar and convener Dr. Neeru Sudana to kindly felicitate our chief guest, Mr. Vikas Chaudhary, with a memento and a token of appreciation. Report? Let us do the report first. Okay. Okay. It is my pleasure to invite Dr. Neeru Sudana, the esteemed conference convener, to present the conference report highlighting the key insights and takeaways from the conference. Part and parts of life.
A very good evening to one and all present here. Can I have your attention, please? My dear students, the 8th National Conference on Viksit Bharat at the rate of 2047, Harnessing the Power of Sustainability and Inclusive Growth, held on 17th and 18th March 2025, organized by Amity School of Economics at Amity University, Noida campus, brought together experts, researchers, and professionals to discuss the Viksit Bharat vision and how inclusive growth and sustainable development can help achieve this vision. The event aimed to address key challenges and opportunities in the journey towards Viksit Bharat. With insightful keynote speeches, interactive panel discussion, and valuable networking opportunity, the conference provided a platform for knowledge exchange and collaboration. This report highlights the key sessions, discussions, and takeaway from the event. This year, conference saw a significant increase in research papers submitted and presented, reflecting a growing interest and engagement in contributing towards the Viksit Bharat vision. Compared to previous year, the number of accepted papers rose from 72 to 82, marking a significant increase this year. So you people can clap for yourself. This was for your Amity School of Economics that we received such a huge number of papers. These 2 days event was started with the inaugural session, marking the official commencement of the event. The session began with a warm welcome from Professor Dr. Kavita Indapurkar. The inaugural session was witnessed by our esteemed chief guest, Anthony Cyrek, Additional Economic Advisor, Ministry of Finance, and guest of honors, Gopal Krishnan Agarwal, Economist, Gaurav Pathak, Vice President, Product Management, AI in Metaverse Informatics, Praveen Trivedi, Chairperson as MSME Startup Forum SR. They shared their thoughts on how we can achieve the Viksit Bharat vision and encourage participants to actively engage in discussion throughout the event. The inaugural session was followed by a panel discussion titled Fostering a Culture of Entrepreneur Driving Innovation and Inclusive Growth for Viksit Bharat at 2047, moderated by Professor Dr. Kavita Indapurkar. The panel discussion was focused around on how a strong entrepreneur ecosystem can help achieve a Viksit Bharat by 2047 and drive inclusive growth and sustainable development in India. This 2-day conference held 6 technical sessions chaired by industry and academia people so that researchers can get good feedback. The 6 technical sessions were Viksit Bharat and Transforming Sustainable Infrastructure and Urbanization, Viksit Bharat and Transforming Tech-Driven Solution for Socio-Economic Progress, Viksit Bharat and Digitalization in Finance and Accounting, Viksit Bharat and Innovation in Governance and Public Policy Delivery, Viksit Bharat and Technology Enabled Inclusive HRM, Viksit Bharat and Digital Transformation in Marketing for Inclusive Growth. There were around 110 entries, out of which 82 were accepted by our panel for presentation. So exact numbers are 110 papers we received for this content, out of which we people only accepted 82 papers which were matching with the track or themes of the conference. These papers were from different states of India. The participants included faculty, research scholars, and students, as well as few researchers from various industries, made their presentation in panels that included our alumni also. The most exciting part of this conference was that 16 students from Amity School of Economics had presented their paper in the conference. So, sir, that is really good news that our students are really focusing on research. 60 students matters a lot for our institute. As we draw the curtains on this year event, we are beaming with pride, reflecting on the conference's remarkable journey and the incredible progress we have made together. It was an absolute pleasure to serve as a convener for this conference. I would like to humbly request my dear Dr. Kavita ma'am to give the responsibility of organizing next year conference as well. We are eager to build up with this year's success and bring new ideas to the table to future enhance the conference experience. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your tireless efforts and for leading this conference to such a meaningful conclusion. I request Professor Dr. Kavita Ambedkar and convener Dr. Neeru Sudana to kindly felicitate our chief guest, Mr. Vikas Chaudhary, with a memento and token of appreciation. We would like to felicitate our guest speaker, Dr. Saloni Bhutani, with a memento and a token of appreciation. Up next, we would like to felicitate our guest of honor, Mr. Bharat Bhatia, with a memento and a token of appreciation. I now request Professor Dr. Kavita Ambedkar, Head of Institute, Amity School of Economics, to kindly deliver the vote of thanks and formally bring this enriching event to a close.
So there is one surprise to all of you. I invite Anika Bhatia to inaugurate the EconoLink, the second edition of EconoLink. Anika, please come. So a few words from your side, and then we will call our chief guest to inaugurate. Yes.
एक सेकंड मैं डाउनलोड करने वाली हूँ वीडियो प्ले होगी क्या? हाँ जी वीडियो प्ले होगी भैया तो वहीं से कर देता ना वहाँ से क्या प्रेजेंटेशन पे शेयर होगी कर दो ऐसे बिना डाउनलोड सीधा कैमरा से हो जाती है.
Good evening to everyone present here. Today,
it's an absolute pleasure and honor to launch the second edition of EconoLink Connecting Minds in Economics at the 8th National Conference on Viksit Bharat, a platform shaping India's future. This edition isn't just a magazine, it's a conversation starter focused on Viksit Bharat at the rate 2047. It brings together students' voice, experts' insight, and real world policy discussion.
As Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam rightly said, India's future will be defined by its young minds. This magazine reflects those young minds, challenging ideas, analyzing policies, and shaping discourse. A heartfelt thank you to Professor Dr. Kavita Indapurkar, whose unwavering support and belief in us made this possible. A special thank you to all the members of the faculty and the students of ASE for their guidance, patience, and encouragement. This assistance did not just shape this magazine, but shaped all of us. We are truly grateful. Vision without execution is just hallucination, as stated by Thomas Edison. Let's turn vision into reality. Here we present to you all the second edition of Econolong, Connecting Minds in Economics. And I would like to request our HY ma'am and all the esteemed guests to please inaugurate the second edition of Econolong. Thank you.
इसको expand कर दें. Just click on expansion, right? Click on नहीं, click expand on. हाँ ठीक है.
मैम वो रुकने
I've seen this road 1,000 times. I've got no roots, but my home was never on the ground. I've got no roots, but my home was never on the ground. I've got no roots. I've got no roots. I've got no roots, but my home was never on the ground. I've got no roots, but my home was never on the ground. I've got no roots. I've got no roots. I like standing still, but that's just a wishful plan. Ask me where I come from, I'll say a different land. But I've got memories and travel like gypsies in the night. I count gates and numbers, then play the guessing game. It's just a place that changes.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Good work. Well done. Where is Ranchika? Well done. So this is my first year brigade. We started it last year with these students, and they are now in second year. So they will be, transferring whatever they have come to know to the first years now. So they have that team of which combine all the students of different classes, and they take the liberty to come into my office anytime after 2 and discuss on this magazine more. So, and if they don't come, I miss them. So sometimes I call Anika and tell her that you have not come for last 1 week to me. So this is how we try to, encourage all the students. Not only me, I'm giving my example, but all the faculty members, and I vouch that all the faculty members of our department are like this. We all try to motivate all the students in whatever endeavors they want to pick up. And very rightly pointed out by all the speakers over here today, not only today, yesterday also in the inaugural ceremony, there were n number of people who were talking about all these points that you all have raised. and the importance of research where we can find out our problems and find solutions. So problems and solutions are the two ends and research is the bridging gap. But we need people like you, sir, Mr. Vikas, so that our whatever we do, they are published. Thank you so much for showing your interest in collaborating. Thank you so much. So gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but is also the parent of all others. As we conclude the 8th edition of the National Conference on Viksit Bharat at the rate 2047, harnessing the power of sustainability and inclusive growth, it is my proud privilege to propose vote of thanks. I stand before you with immense gratitude, reflecting on the meaningful discussions, thought-provoking ideas and collective inspirations that we have gained over these 2 days. First and foremost, and most importantly, I convey my deepest gratitude to our Honorable Revered Founder President, Sir, Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan. Sir, it is only possible with your kind blessings that ASC is able to conduct the event of this kind for last 8 years in a row. I also convey my immense gratitude to our Honorable Chancellor, Sir, Dr. Atul Chauhan, for his visionary leadership that helped us to carve out such a meaningful event. I convey my sincere thanks to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Madam Professor Dr. Balwinder Shukla, for driving us to successful conduct of this conference. A big thank you to our chief guest, Mr. Vikas Chaudhary ji, for sharing his invaluable insights with the students. We wish to have more coordinated and meaningful long-term association with you, sir, in the interest of ASE and my students. A special thanks to our guest of honor, Mr. Virat Bhatia, for making it possible to come for this session of the conference and give such an impactful address, which is thought-provoking. I extend my appreciation to our distinguished guest speakers, Dr. Saloni Bhutani and Professor Dr. Shobna Poddar, for taking out time from their busy schedule and joining us for this session of the conference. Thank you so much, madam. Thank you, Saloni, madam. I would like to take this opportunity to personally thank each of our esteemed faculty members whose relentless dedication and support have been instrumental in making this conference a success. Most importantly, Dr. Neeru Sidana, who is the conference convener, for her outstanding efforts in meticulously planning and organizing this event. Dr. Pooja Mehra and Dr. Ankita Gupta for leading the technical session on sustainable infrastructure and urbanization. Dr. Shilpi Verma for her coordination on the session on tech-driven solutions for socio-economic growth. Dr. Rochna Arora for steering the session on digitalization in finance and accounting with excellence. Dr. Dharmender Singh for his valuable contributions to the session on innovation in governance and public service delivery. And most importantly, Dr. Namita Kapoor for moderating the discussions on digital transformations in marketing and inclusive growth. A heartfelt thanks to our students' teams of the conference. They planned and coordinated meticulously, and their dedication and commitment ensured the seamless execution of this event. All the tireless efforts of all of us here have truly made a difference. We also extend our sincere regards and appreciation to the IT department for their technical support in managing the hybrid format of this conference and ensuring smooth virtual connectivity as well. A special note of appreciation to our support staff, Ms. Nirmal and Ms. Kalpana, whose unwavering commitment and assistance ensured that all logistical arrangements are carried out flawlessly. To our panelists, session chairs, students, volunteers, and all participants, thank you for your engagement, thought-provoking presentations, and valuable contributions. Your presence and active involvement have truly made this conference an enriching experience. Finally, as we conclude, let us carry forward the insights and discussions from this conference and work together towards a sustainable and inclusive Viksit Bharat 2047. We look forward to meeting you all in our next edition in March 2026 and under the guidance of Dr. Neeru Sidana. Once again, thank you all, and we look forward to welcoming you all in our future endeavors as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your leadership and heartfelt gratitude expressed on behalf of the organizing team. As we bring this vibrant conference to a close, let us carry forward the idea, energy, and commitment that have defined the past 2 days. Together, let us work toward the vision of Viksit Bharat 2047, a nation that thrives on inclusion, innovation, and sustainability. Thank you and best wishes.
Please wait so that we have some photographs also.